And I've got to tell you, I will never get over Jelly Roll, the artist Jelly Roll.
No. What is it about the artist Jelly Roll that you can't get over? Is it the name? Is it the image? Is it the voice? Is it all of the above?
It's none of it. So it's none of it. I loved his acceptance speech. 39 years old, been in music for 20 years, wins an award for Best New Artist. Like, how does it even make sense, right?
There is something poetic about a 39-year-old man winning New Artist of the Year. I don't know where you're at in your life or what you're going through, but I want to tell you to keep going, baby. I want to tell you success is on the other side of it. I want to tell you it's going to be okay. I want to tell you that the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason, because what's in front of you is so much more important than what's behind you. Let's party, Nashville!
He gives a pulpit-worthy motivational speech to the entire audience that will have you wanting. It felt like I was one of the players in Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. And
there you go. That's a classic.
I was ready. I was ready to go. Who wants it? When he said there's a reason the windshield is smaller than the rearview mirror, I was like, okay, right. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Yeah, especially for a guy like me where there was a good partition of people in my own family that thought I'd be dead by 21, right? So when you guys hear me wilding out on this podcast or like just how I am, just know I'm how I am because I'm laughing all the way to the bank and wherever the hell I go. I'm laughing to the grocery store because 50% of my family they took the under on me being alive right now. They took the under. Okay. They were shorting my stock. Right. So I could, knock on wood. I don't want to die. I want to live forever, but I could die tomorrow and I would have done better than most people thought I was going to do. So for that, I get Jelly Roll. I know exactly where it's coming from. I loved it. The second thing are just all the people who are exposed to Jelly Roll now, like just rolling through my X feed, being like, I don't know who this Jelly Roll guy is, but he's got a new fan. Jelly Roll was a white gangster rapper from Tennessee 20 years ago. He was trying to kind of follow along the lines of, if you think back to the Master P era of hip hop, where he just owned hip hop for 5 years, Master P and Silk the Shocker, Juvenile, yep. Manny Lil Fresh. Wayne, or not Lil Wayne, that's a different crew. Hold on. Silk the Shocker, Master P, who's the dude that went to jail? C Murder.
And Mystical.
There's Mystical, C Murder. Sorry, I blended crews. I blended Cash Money and No Limit right there. But anyway, back when both of them were kind of coming out together, he was riding that wave. So he had album covers that kind of looked like that. That was kind of the vibe. It was kind of different because it was like, okay, well, here's basically the white 8-Ball, right? If you know 8-Ball and MJG. Right. From Memphis, where in Orange Mound, where they just sort of blew up out of Memphis. They're still considered probably top 5 rap duo of all time. Right. And they didn't have any of the New York, LA money behind them. And you would be hard pressed. Two things. You'd be hard pressed to find a better hip hop album than Coming Out Hard by 8-Ball and MJG. And then second, you can't release that album today. That album, just because of woke and everything, we've just come to a better place as people. Because I'm not advocating. I'm not saying it should come out today. I'm saying you cannot release Coming Out Hard today. It's just not an album that would hit and be palatable. So anyway, that was Jelly Roll. And it worked for a little while. I remember him being around sort of when I was in high school, and that's like vibing off that. And then he kind of went away for a while. And then he just burst back on the scene. I've seen him everywhere. Like the last 5 years, he's been everywhere. Kudos to his publicist team. Kudos to his wife, who he gave thanks to, his entire team. And it just goes to show that you can have a second act. Like Darius Rucker was Hootie. And now if he just keeps making country music, people might actually forget that he's Hootie from Hootie, or he was in Hootie and the Blowfish, because he said many times, I'm not Hootie.
Right.
People think I'm Hootie. I'm not Hootie. People will forget that's where he started. He's like, oh, Darius Rucker, the country singer. Right. And like, I think that could happen. That has happened for Jelly Roll. I think very few people know that he was a rapper before he was a country artist. So that happened last time, just vibing on that transformation and just what it could mean for any artist out there and anybody who's trying to do a thing. And maybe they, we reserve the term pivot for tech companies. It can happen for anybody. You can pivot that. You can move in a different direction.
I was going to jump in on that, though. That's really interesting that he got the best new artist. And I don't know if in his speech he even mentioned that, or if he called that out, or how much he called it out. You're right. And it's interesting. I'd really want to know. I'd love to sit down with him and say, how does that make you feel? What's new about you in this industry? And he's probably going to say, the fact that y'all give me my flowers. That's the only thing that's new. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've been this, I've been that, I've been here, I've been there. There's nothing new. It's just that y'all are willing to recognize me for the talent that I have, and you're willing to recognize it in this genre where maybe who knows? I don't know how many other genres he tried.
That's what changed, the genre. He found an audience there, and he found that he might. I think what's interesting is he was rapping when he knew he could sing well.
I was wondering if he did R&B at one point. I'm going to start looking. I'm going to see what else he's done because like you said, he disappeared, right, for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I think that he disappeared and likely just went off and tried a bunch of different things. It's kind of the way that comedians will go to, you would say dive bars to try out their act. And maybe he was doing the same thing. Like, let me test this out. Like maybe they want me to be something different, and he's a chameleon, and maybe he was okay with that. Right? Country isn't the fallback option from rap. It was just he was taking advantage maybe of the zeitgeist at the time, and he's so versatile that he thought that that's where he would go. So if that wasn't working, he said, let me flex my versatility somewhere else. And I can imagine, I could see this guy singing R&B somewhere, then singing the blues, and then maybe trying a little rock, maybe a little rock hip hop. And then maybe one day he sang a country cover and somebody was like, yo, like you have missed your calling. He's like, what? And it just all uphill from there. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd be curious. So now you got me interested. I'm going to go check out what he's done to see what he's done over time.
I think what happens when you grow up here in the Music City is that if you're not naturally involved in country music, you try to buck up against it. Like I have a lot of friends that just like, I'm not doing country music. I'm not being part of the country music machine. Let me make this music here. And it's kind of music's version of what we say in film, produce where you are. Right? When the industry wants a certain type of movie, you're like, no, I'm going to make this movie. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't work out as well as it could, or it puts you in a bad environment. Like I have this talk track that I give to people that I mentor and talk to, which is like, everybody should wait tables, but then get out of there within 2 years, or the culture will swallow you whole. Because everybody needs to learn how to serve someone with humility. And to work for that tip, to serve someone, right? And to just know what that culture is like, understand it. And then it helps you be a better human, I think, in society. You're a better tipper, but you're also just a better human, right? But if you stay there long enough to cash in, cash out business, you'll be on drugs in 5 years and, whatever. I've done that. I know what that culture is like, right? And I think hip hop could be similar, right? Like it's very good. You get to sort of, release this poetry that's so intimate probably to you and therapeutic just to say and to write. But what's the culture of hip hop? And because he talks about the fact that like his wife saved his life. Well, what does that mean? Probably means something a lot more than he's willing to say on an acceptance speech stage. Right. And so he finally just said, you know what? Why am I fighting this? Like, this is the place where you can do country music and do it at a very high level. right? And so I just think,
Yeah, I can see him finding his tribe. That might have been the thing. If he found a better tribe to be around that was more uplifting, created new opportunities for him, and he's thriving in that, which is great. And I'll definitely have to check out his acceptance speech because, now I'm interested, man. I'm gonna check it out.
look, you're right about the zeitgeist. He probably saw Post Malone, who's rapping and singing, has similar tattoos, and was successful in that transition. He probably saw that country's becoming more inclusive. You've got a lot of black country singers now. You've got country people doing hip hop, a lot of mashups. And he's like, this is the time. And timing is everything.